one thing that every single human being has in common. First, we have God, the omnipresent, and he gave us Ma. Yeah. We all are born from a mother. Tell us about your strong-willed mom and how she saw your destiny and potential well before anybody else.
Kanika, you're a mom too.
Yeah.
Would you do anything for your kids?
Oh my God, everything.
Everything. Your mother would do everything for you again and again too. I just feel that's the beauty of this power given to them. And when I launched this restaurant, the first thing I said that 50 days from now, we will launch Bungalow on March 23rd. I said, this is dedicated to our moms who nurture our souls. And nurturing souls doesn't need food also.
Yeah.
And I remember I was going to a therapist after my sister, and he said that, I said, I need to stop because my mom's phone call, I will stop even when I'm cooking for the president. I have to take the call.
Yes.
And otherwise she gets worried, where am I? And he says, that's your therapy. That's your therapy when somebody's there for you. Yeah. The first thing to think about when they wake up in the morning is you. The last voice they want to hear when they go to bed is you. You don't need any therapy.
Right.
You're blessed that it's the feeling of unloved or unwanted when you need like a lot of more support. But you have all that. Yeah. You're going to recover. And it truly helped me.
Wow.
There is no hood like parenthood. Hi, I'm Kanika Chadda Gupta. I'm a former CNN journalist, mom of 3, including twins, and host of That's Total Mom Sense, the podcast. Now, if I had $1 every time I heard, gee, you have your hands full. On my show, I interview change makers on their life lessons, legacy, and superpower of intuition, which I call our mom sense and dad sense. I've had the privilege of working with Mom 2.0, March of Dimes, and the White House, and have had some pretty amazing parents on my show.
Hey, what's up? I'm Kelly Rowland.
Hi, this is Chelsea Clinton. It's me, Bobbi Brown. Can't wait to share my story.
That's Total Mom Sense is a production of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube so you never miss an episode. To join my tribe, visit that'stotalmomsense.com and follow me on Instagram at Kanika Chadda Gupta. Now let's dive in to today's episode.
Namaskar, everyone. Today I am overjoyed with emotion to be joined by my dear friend, Chef Vikas Khanna. I've known him for such a long time. He's a world-renowned chef, an author, a filmmaker, and the purest soul you'll find on this earth. Today, we come to you from a muhurat of his new restaurant, Bungalow, which he has dedicated to his late sister, Radhika. I'm so excited to be talking with you, Vikas Bhai. I have to tell how we reconnected because even that is just sheer kismat. So a few weeks back, I had come into the city. I stay in New Jersey, so I came to New York for a friend's book launch. And just as I was getting off of the subway, this young man approaches me and says, "Would you mind taking a photo on my phone?" And then I did a double take and I said, "Vikas," and he said, "Kanika." And it was just meant to be. And it made me think there are 8 million people in New York City. And how at that very day and moment did we cross paths after 10 years? It's just meant to be.
Meant to be. And your new chefs who are just coming to New York and they said, "Chef, और तो कुछ नहीं एक photo कर सकते हैं बाहर आपके साथ." And I'm like, no, let's finish the work. And this guy didn't forget while we were leaving. He's saying, "Chef, एक picture चाहिए आपके साथ मम्मी को भेजनी है." Like मम्मी का नाम बोला, let's do it.
Oh.
So we go outside and that is when you, in a fraction of a second.
Yes. I was turning a corner and you caught me. Oh, and I tell you that this is all Kudrat ka khel and Radhika is doing. She's showering her blessings on us and she made that exact moment happen. So I want to have many layers to this interview. As I was writing my questions out, the letter M, Ma, kept coming to me. It was recently Mahashivratri. We opened with Mool Mantar, Mata Tekna, Mandir, Mahal, Mahan, Man. I just kept thinking Ma. So, yeah.
Month of March.
In month of March. March 23rd is Radha's birthday. And that's the opening of the restaurant. So, yeah, it's just, manifesting. So we'll start with your journey. I say it's Ma Ki Rasoi to Michelin Star.
No. I have one word to add. I said, for Ma, Michelin Star chef means Michelin Star Mundu.
Yeah.
Mundu. And people who don't know Mundu, it's a very, I don't know.
It's an affectionate way of...
But yeah.
Helper.
Speaking helper, unpaid helper.
Yeah.
Unrespected helper.
Right.
So
That's adorable.
My mom doesn't cook, so she is giving me instructions what all she wants for breakfast and all things you want to taste, achar dal din and all those things.
Yeah.
So I said, Michelin Star chef is Michelin Star Mundu. That's
That's it. That's it. Humbling.
Yeah.
Truly.
My mom is the one who gave me the wings to feel that I'm no less. My mom is not a great cook, just to put that disclaimer out.
Okay.
She hardly cooks. She's saying, I gave birth to you. Now you cook.
No.
But she's the one who encouraged me that don't let anyone let you know or make you feel that you are less in any way. Because many people do that. And they especially do that to the people who threaten them, or challenge them.
Yeah.
Only they will do that.
Yes. No, it's so true. I want to start with the motherland because even that's very, very symbolic. The largest kitchen in the world is Amritsar, where you were born.
Yeah.
100,000 people come to the Golden Temple a day. Yeah. They spend 5,000 on ghee, 4 million to keep the kitchen running every year. That's what it takes. And because of the patrons and donors and those who are looking to volunteer and do seva, 24/7, there are meals being served. It's incredible. So that's where you grew up. You were meant to be born there. Tell us about your homeland.
I was born in Amritsar, right on the border of India and Pakistan. My mom's family came from Multan side. My dad's Lahore connection. And one thing which was the common force between them was the food, the cooking. But my true values came, or values in a way that, my beginner's values came from Golden Temple, where I saw that if people know about that community kitchen, there's no discrimination. It doesn't matter what social status you have or what economy you come from, what religion, caste, creed, nothing matters there. You come there, you sit on the floor, they feed you. Yeah. Because they see that feeding a human being is equivalent to praying. That's how you do seva. That's how the basic tenets of Sikhism is.
Yeah.
Seva, Simran, Satsang. Create a community where nobody feels left out. Do seva to each other so that nobody feels that they are less or they are unfortunate.
Right.
So my grandmother taught me the power of that kitchen and made me see these things a little differently. I had no idea one day I'll be sitting in Manhattan,
Yeah.
and talking about them in this way. I just feel, and they gave birth to an artist and they continued making me feel that your art of cooking is a blessing and you've got to keep giving it to more people, sharing it with them.
Yes. And now back to your mom, Ma. One thing that every single human being has in common. First, we have God, the omnipresent, and He gave us Ma. Yeah. We all are born from a mother. Tell us about your strong-willed mom and how she saw your destiny and potential well before anybody else.
Kanika, you're a mom too.
Yeah.
Would you do anything for your kids?
Oh my God, everything.
Everything. Your mother would do everything for you again and again too. I just feel that's the beauty of this power given to them. And when I launched this restaurant, the first thing I said that 50 days from now, we will launch Bungalow on March 23rd. I said, this is dedicated to our moms who nurture our souls. And nurturing souls doesn't need food also.
Yeah.
And I remember I was going to a therapist after my sister and he said that, I said, I need to stop because my mom's phone call, I will stop even when I'm cooking for the president. I have to take the call.
Yes.
And otherwise she gets worried, where am I? And he says, that's your therapy. That's your therapy. That somebody's there for you.
Yeah.
The first thing to think about when they wake up in the morning is you. The last voice they want to hear when they go to bed is you. You don't need any therapy.
Right.
You're blessed that it's the feeling of unloved or unwanted when you need like a lot of more support. But you have all that.
Yeah.
You're going to recover. And it truly helped me.
Wow. Tell us about those early days when your mom gave birth to you and there were health struggles, but she forged on and she knew you would too.
I was a very different looking kid in school also. I was very skinny, extremely bad in studies. I couldn't remember everything. I was suffering from way too many complexes just because I couldn't walk or run like kids. At that age, you are an instant target in the classrooms.
Yeah.
And even if I had to go to a restroom, and everybody would laugh because the sound my wooden shoes would make.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep sitting there. And one day I peed in the classroom. I was so scared. And that time people just laugh it off in the class, but they don't understand what that child goes
The trauma, yeah.
the embarrassment, that how it makes you feel, and everybody laughs at you. But, I had two mothers, my mom and my sister. My sister was much more protective of me because I was so skinny and tiny.
Yeah.
And extremely what people used to say, an ugly looking child.
Oh.
And my mom would say, my mom and sister only found me, oh no, he's so good looking. And I just feel that, them being the force there.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I had a childhood which was not happy, which was complicated. Of course, everybody's childhood is complicated. But I want to frame it with the beauty of love I had with me throughout with this women in my family.
Wow. I mean, you have said in past interviews how you had club feet and had braces on your legs, couldn't run outside. I'm thinking of your childhood. It's in the 70s. Kids are playing kabaddi. Kids are playing soccer. And all those things that, now everyone's gaming. But you weren't able to partake. And your mom said, my son will not only walk, he's destined to fly.
Yeah, he's saying you're meant to fly. And one day, which people don't know about it, that one day we had to go to a birthday party of kids, and I refused to wear my wooden shoes. And I'm telling my mom, I'm not going to wear them because everybody just focuses on that. I'm more than that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, actually, I'm not. But I'm more than that.
But you want them to accept, yeah.
So my mom had just bought an iron at that time. I took an iron and I put it on my foot, on my right foot. It's a huge mark there.
Oh, my God.
And I wanted to iron my feet out. And she got so mad at me. And I'm never going to forget that, how I made her cry that day.
Oh, Patati.
And, she saw the foot and she says, no. And she kissed it. I will never forget it. And she said, no, you don't need to go through this. I know that.
Yeah.
But you know what? God chose this for you. And we are standing there to make it happen. But we cannot give up. She doesn't like me talking about that incident because it was such a dark space for mother and son.
Yeah.
And I was so mad going to my neighbor's birthday party. I want to be like everyone else. And she said, you don't have to be like everyone else. You have to just stand out.
Yeah. Which you do. Which you do in the most beautiful way. You started those days in Ma Ki Rasoi. I've heard you talk about how it was an open air kitchen. So when it was rain, you'd have an umbrella. Right? That's incredible.
We started business when I was 16.
Okay.
So I was very young when I got into business.
Yes.
So all I would be doing kitty parties, if people don't know, is that Punjabi women just love getting out of home and finding a place where they can all sit together and they can bitch.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Talk about people.
And say Sanoki.
Yeah.
and then after that, they will eat and then they leave. It's a per head system. Lawrence Garden, we started these banquets. And because I was a very timid child, it was very difficult for me to ask for money. So most of these women would come and just not even pay.
Okay.
Because they will feel they're going to somebody's house.
Right.
And our business was really not the best. And my father used to say, change the name from Lawrence Garden Caterers to Lawrence Garden Charity. But I just feel that, that was my biggest education about understanding the empathy of a diner.
Yes.
That they might forget how much they paid you, but they will never forget you did that one thing extra, which was not transactional.
Right. Right. How did you learn to like cook, chop, prep? Like what age were you that, your mom and BG gave you that?
My grandmother used to cook.
Yeah.
So I was her helper.
Yeah.
And, because she was aging and she had this kind of with her fingers, with arthritis,
Yeah.
those things. So I started chopping and doing everything. We had one more chef who just was so amazing. They came from Kashmir. His name was Bishambarji. So both of them became like, because I was young, more energetic, and I could do food for 200 people, 300 people. I was so good in tandoor. Not anymore so much. I don't know why.
Really? Okay.
I feel that, but now I want...
You'll get back into
No, it's just that when you're just doing one thing, you become perfect.
Yes, master.
Initially, I used to beat all these young kids. I used to make more breads faster, more precise, no burning, no kacha bread.
Wow.
But now I feel that, it's also, I just think that, I need them to win, maybe
Yes.
because of that.
Yes.
But I was fantastic, but we didn't, because we started with very little money, we didn't have any roof on the kitchen. And every time it would rain, and it would be one of the biggest disaster because the customers didn't have the roof and rather did the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it became a very big point of my pain. And that time we didn't have any apps to tell us weather.
Right.
We didn't know if it's going to rain. If it rains, it rains. But the kitchen one night, I will always remember when we bought a generator for a small party and generator kept tripping. And I went up on the rooftop where the generator was. It was dark.
Oh.
And suddenly it was lightning, and I see my mom standing in the corner without anything, umbrella or anything. And every time the generator trips, she'll pick up the plug and just light it up. I said, and that visual has never left me. And I feel that every time there's darkness in my life, she comes to turn the lights on. Oh. And I feel that day I saw a different side of her silently doing this, the standing up. Because I was on tandoor and my grandmother's holding the broken umbrella.
Oh my gosh.
It was windy.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even put tandoor properly. And she was trying to protect my face.
Yeah.
And that night was, I don't know why, you remember a few nights. Our brain says, remember that moment.
Yes.
You just remember that the universe is with you.
Yeah.
Because of these two women.
Wow. Wow. Your father was the one who bought you your first tandoor, right?
I thought he hated me cooking. He hated, because men did not cook at that time at all. You never saw somebody like me. The celebration of Indian food. I'm going out there. Ghar mein koi aaya, pakode khaoge, like all those things. I knew how to make spring rolls and I'm serving everyone.
Wow.
My sister would treat me like a personal chef. But besides that, everybody was like, you shouldn't be doing this because, what is the future for him?
Right.
What is he going to do? Cook for the president? Like, this is what they say.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was very rare at that time.
Right.
In the 70s and 80s, Indian men opting for this and saying, I want to be a chef.
Chef. Yes. Yes. Now let's transition to your move to America. That was December 2nd, 2000.
Yeah.
That was in the middle of the whole Y2K hysteria. It was such an uprising and uncertain time. But there was something in you that knew that I have to be in the US. What compelled you to move?
I was hiding. I didn't come to think that I want a new life. I thought that I was 29. And at that time, most of the people feel that in my age, in that generation, would have been married, at least 2 kids. My banquets, the ceiling was very important to me, as I told you. And one day, some government officials came and they broke that whole ceiling.
Oh, no.
And they came and they wouldn't listen to me. I was crying and crying. I'm like telling them. And my dad had gone for a wedding. There was no cell phones. And I felt so unprotected and so broken. And I remember as they broke the ceiling, they didn't care that the guest was standing under it. And they were screaming. And when a piece of the ceiling fell on the water counter where there were all glasses, it shattered my heart and the glasses. And that was very difficult for me. My brother said, some days you feel that the bird's wings are too large to be caged. I feel that experiment with your life. Go somewhere. Fly higher. Small things will drown you. And I'd heard a quote that, it's not the mountains which stop you. It's a small pebble in your feet, in your shoe. It stops you. The mountains are there for you to climb. But that pebble is telling you, stop. You're saying there's a pebble in you right now. This is going to break you all the time. Why don't you go? And I'd read the book on Jonathan Livingston Seagull, about the seagull who learned how to fly. So I said, okay, New York is a great city to hide. So I just came to hide.
Wow. And you knew you wanted to go into the culinary business, and you were kind of humble enough to start small and work your way up.
In New York, there's no memory of what you've done. Even the biggest chef from France, when they come to New York, they all start from the very bottom.
I love that. Yeah. I think it makes you who you are. It gives you that resilience to stick around.
New York is the city of rebirth. As an immigrant living in the city, you feel that the moment you walk in, and people don't give so much credit to Kanika, to immigrants from the other side of it.
No, not at all.
Because I feel that to leave everything which is familiar to you, your friends, your family, your history, your past, and to start all new in a foreign land, it's not easy. It's never been easy for anyone. That's why it makes the success so great here.
Yeah. Moving on to miracles. On Christmas Day in 2000, same year, you encountered a miracle. Take us back to that time.
Yeah. I was working in a deli in Tribeca, and before 9/11, it was easier to go into places and say, guys, I can help, I can cook, I can clean. And nobody informed me that they closed earlier. So I'm walking up on West Broadway up to Canal Street, and I'm calculating that, I'm really in a bad shape right now. No proper place to sleep, just changing couches. And, it's almost like chefs who worked with you, they said, okay, come and stay with us. But there was no real thing happening for me.
Yeah.
And I was standing, I saw a line of people at New York Rescue Mission. Now it's called the Bowery Mission. And I was standing and I was freezing. Every immigrant remembers the first winter in New York, and nothing can prepare you.
No. For the biting cold.
Oh my God. Nothing can,
Yes.
no thermals, nothing.
No.
Well, I thought it was different the way I was shivering for many other reasons. When a lady comes and hands me a blanket from behind me. And I didn't even know what the line was. It was New York Rescue Mission. I needed that support of some community to hold me at that time and say, you are a part of us. Some days it's not that blanket, it's the warmth you needed to feel that, of course, we're going to have the crazy ride in Manhattan, but the city is yours.
Yes.
That day I felt the city is mine.
Yes.
I belong here. And I'm going to find a way to stick here. And it's been almost 24 years, and I'm proud of every rise and every fall, every lonely moment and every overcrowded moment, every push in the subway, to every bike ride.
Yes.
It's non-tolerant.
Right.
And we love it.
It's great. Oh, and I mean, to come from Amritsar, where Seva is in our blood, to see what's going on at the mission.
Sure.
It's the same. It's full circle. You are meant to go there. So, and you volunteered your time.
Yep.
You worked with the CEO, Craig, and even during COVID, tell us how many meals you provided to people.
So during COVID, my mom was watching television, and there was a news about the problems with lockdowns. The people who are most vulnerable are going to be old age homes, leprosy centers, orphanages. And my mom said, I want you to do something for them. And I was broken myself because my sister was going through a lot. And I didn't tell my mom what I was going through. I said, okay, Mom, I'm going to do something. And I tried to do a food drive, and I failed just the very third day.
Okay.
Because I lost a truck of grains. I was trying to send it in south of Bangalore. I really messed up, and I called my mom and said, I can't do it. My mom said that, this is the first time, everything what you learned was from our country. And when she said our country, it made me feel like I'm the other. Because she said that I was feeling the pain in her voice, that how can my son not stand up for his own people right now?
Yeah. Say it in Punjabi. How did she say it?
मैंने कहा चल ठीक है ना जो भी सीखा साढ़े को सीखा ना तो ਇੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਨਾ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਾਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜੀ and that really hurt me when she says live for your glory
ਉਹਨੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ, yeah.
and that really hurt me and I said, Mom, even if I fail in this drive, I'm not going to give up. And within the next 9 months, I put everything on back burner. We served more than 80 million plus meals. Just sitting in New York City, doing partnerships, finding ways to get resources, grains, flowers, everything, medicines, sanitary pads, slippers.
Wow.
And there were festivals in between. I wanted to celebrate with people who had totally lost hope. It was an amazing and the tragic time of my life.
Wow. My goodness. I mean,
Feed India is still alive.
Yes. Incredible. I want to touch on now mirch and masala and meetha. Because life has all of these flavors in it, much like your dishes. So starting with mirch, you've had some hard times in the kitchen. It's such a fiery place. People are so angered and rushed. And, you had some chefs that really, they weren't nice to you. They weren't good to you. Yeah.
Pre-social media volume, people might not remember. The kitchen was a very hard place because there's no way you can talk about something or complain about someone. It was very hard.
Yeah. You had to just isolate it, just deal with it.
And constantly go through it.
You're right.
There was no escape to it. And I felt that it was hard. I hardly spoke English. It was my sister who got me an English teacher.
Wow.
In 2004.
Okay.
Because I said, I don't need to speak English, I cook. She said, you need to communicate. Tomorrow, when you become a big chef, you will have to communicate of your food, of your culture.
Yes.
She had the vision.
Wow.
So on August 23rd, 2004, when I cooked at the James Beard House, I didn't know how to thank people because I was so shy.
Oh.
And she said thanks from my side. She was like the big girl. Oh, thank you guys. So much pleasure. And she blended into American culture.
I love that.
I was not.
Yeah.
She emulsified literally into American culture.
My
and then we were walking out. She's saying, shame on you. I'm like, why? You think they gave you mic and you're like, hello. What do you mean by hello?
Yeah.
What was that? Hello. But I do feel that communication became the key for me to be able to tell where you come from, your past, your ancestral history, your cooking, the techniques you learned from India, the regional cuisine, the diversity, your experiences. So I think some chefs saw that as, I was very quiet and I was not, they didn't understand because it was a language barrier too for me. And they thought I was very submissive and then they just ride on you.
One guy was trying to chop your fingers. One put you in.
Funny. He thought it was funny and he said that, nobody's going to believe you. I understand it really came from what sort thought process. And he thought it was funny to take a cleaver, like the big Chinese knife, and boom. And I'm like, I started shivering. I'm like, oh, don't worry. Nobody's going to believe you. I'm like, instead of apologizing, I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And in the night, they really made a lot of fun of me. And I'm like, okay, you do what you have to do. You don't understand. I need to survive right now.
Yeah.
So some days you keep your eyes closed even for that thing and you don't want to fight it. But I didn't go to work next. I'm like, I can't be in a place where you worship food and the atmosphere is so toxic.
Toxic. Exactly. There was one instance where you were locked in a freezer.
Yeah. Same place.
Same. Okay. But then there's Ishvara is always with you.
Somebody protects you.
Yeah.
Some angel is always on your shoulder, even if you ignore it. Some angel is there.
Yes. Now, masala. So when you were working at Fulton Street, there was an instance where Gordon Ramsay was trying to get a hold of you. What a plot.
He didn't know me.
Yeah.
But his team was trying to find a chef for Kitchen Nightmares.
Okay.
And they started doing this Kitchen Nightmares episode where they're revamping a Bangladeshi restaurant and nobody spoke English. Mm-hmm. So they got stuck in the shoot and they had to literally stop the shoot till they find an Indian guy who could speak to them, communication.
Right.
And they were searching for someone and they found me. And this girl used to come there all the time to eat in a small restaurant and on Fulton Street, 141. And I used to just make dosas, uttapams, simple steam table restaurant, $5 lunches.
Wow.
And she saw you and she said she read about me in Daily News. there was a big article which said that, I feel blessed to wake up in New York every day because I represent such a big culture. And she loved that. And that is when the whole episode of television started. I was not a TV guy at all. And I told my sister that, and she says, now you know why I was telling you to learn English.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
being so shy and humble. Go out and tell people you come from the richest culture.
Exactly. And then you went back to the motherland, and now you're a huge TV star with MasterChef. I mean, if you think of the viewership, I want to talk about the magnitude. There's 270 million viewers who watched MasterChef just last season.
I've been doing
That
it
is
for 15
incredible. Yes. And you are a celebrated judge. Everybody wants to work with you, cook for you. What is one of your, it's hard to pinpoint, but what is one of your fondest memories? Maybe it was a contestant, maybe it was a moment that happened.
A lot of them, I travel back. I always feel that it's my way of revamping syllabus in cooking schools.
Yeah.
It's important for me to connect with the next generation chefs who are trying to understand Indian cuisine and to be passionate about it. Because in our cooking colleges, we were only taught Western cuisine. We were never taught Indian food.
Right.
Because they felt that, we need to work hard to get Michelin stars for the big chefs. And I'm like, no, we need to work hard for our own cuisine, our own people, our own tribes, and bring our cuisine to its glory. The Indian food has not even touched its potential right now. It is still very actual of how we feel. Potentiality of our cuisine, its power, its depth is vast, infinite. So I'm proud. I think one great incident which I feel was so amazing was that I'm going to work in the morning in Bombay, and I see a lady on a bike, and I see that she sees me in the car and she's driving. So I did this to her, like just a casual wave, and she says,
Smile.
I was not having a good day that day, and she says, smile. And it was red light.
Yeah, Muskan.
I just had Muskan. I get the glass down, the window down, and she says, I watched the show just because we wait for you to smile.
Yes.
We just want you, because it just gives you something, not just about food. It gives you somebody is there for you. And I'm like, I smiled. I'm never going to forget it. I'm like, okay, I did this. I think I'm watching the show since I was a kid. And how you stay so calm and controlled and no shouting and no making anyone feel less for the dish they've not done well for.
Right.
I think that's good. As it's a mom's favorite show,
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to do till it remains a mom's favorite show, because a mom is celebrated in Amritsar.
Yes.
And when the show is on, everybody comes to her and they watch the show with her. That gives me immense pleasure.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
And for MasterChef.
Yes, I'm for MasterChef. Let's talk about Paris, Marché, the open air market. You had to learn French and learn French culinary cooking, which it's actually part of your kind of trajectory as a chef to get to that Michelin star. What was some time in Paris that you remember?
In the colleges, we were taught French cooking. So we had to learn French terminologies.
Yeah.
That was the syllabus, which I feel it's so one-sided, because you can learn French techniques and so you can learn Indian cuisines.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I wanted to know the difference between a chef and what they do, their vision, which gets them a Michelin star. Because we didn't have any Indian chefs at the time.
Yeah.
And when Vineet won and Atul Kochhar won Michelin in London, I felt there is a chance.
Yes.
But I need to train under those chefs who receive it year after year. So I'm very consciously, I'm not going to name the restaurants and the chefs. I will stick to the Indian restaurants I've worked for.
Oh, I love
And I'm
that.
thankful for that. I've worked with so many French chefs in New York, and I'm so proud of working with them. And from Chef David Waltuck to Chef Boulay to, I didn't work with them full time. I've worked with them, trained with them, because they will say, okay, come in a few days and help us with the events. Chef Eric Ripper, we've done events together. Chef Daniel, I've helped him with events.
Wow.
But in France, it was different culture. For them to see a brown guy cooking, I was told by the chef that, you don't have to cook. You're here to clean to do store management and to do deliveries. I'm like, okay, chef. He's saying, I'm like, that I accept it. I'm just starting. I've been there for almost some time. And then he said, people with brown hands, this is what the job is. And I said, okay, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
That is all.
You're going to open a restaurant in Paris.
No, I don't.
You have to prove all of them wrong.
New York is my temple. But see, I take restaurants very personal spaces. These are my personal people are visiting. I am accountable for anything which is wrong on the table. I will go on the table and apologize to you if I don't think that something has not matched up your expectations. But in France, it was not the cooking training. When he told me that people with darker skin are not there to be leaders, that you are not supposed to be the cooks, the chefs, you're supposed to be cleaners. That really touched me somewhere, which I didn't know that place could hurt so much.
Yes.
I come back to New York, and all I did after that was just focus on getting Indian cuisine Michelin Star.
I love that.
And winning it for 6 times consecutively, it aged me 100 years. Mm-hmm. It was the most amazing achievement for chefs to watch that they're no less. And most importantly, to make people feel that skin color has nothing to do with your achievements.
100%.
People use that to put a bracket around you because they are intimidated by your wings.
Yeah.
My mom taught me that your wings are too bright. It's not the feet which make you fly.
Wow. And that's what has really fueled your mission.
That's really, yeah, I have said it openly that I come from a very broken space where constantly you were made to feel so insignificant, so non-existent.
Yeah. Oh, I want to get into your mission, but before that, memory lane, because you've written many books. It's like 40 plus books, and so many films. Yeah. So you have all of these stories. One was when you were at the White House, President Obama had called you for an event, Satvik meal you made. Tell us about the funny story that was going on behind the scenes.
So that funny story was actually for Reuben Museum.
Okay.
That I know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
So at the White House, we went for Indian American Association, Hindu American Association, where they were celebrating Hinduism in America. So I said, if you're inviting me to cook there, I have to do something which is based on the grassroots of Hinduism.
Yeah.
Is during our fasting time and during our puja time, foods we cook there. I want to do that. I want to do all vegetarian.
Yeah.
All without garlic and onions.
Wow.
And everybody felt, that's a side. I'm like, that's the main courses. And I also want to give a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi, saying that, we didn't use any dairy.
My goodness.
Wow. So we did a lot of different things. And this is like many years ago.
Yeah.
But it was at the Reuben Museum, and President Obama was coming for a re-election campaign.
Okay.
And I was hosting it. And when the White House security comes and, the president security, they come in the kitchen and they shake you down, literally. Yeah. Like, this can't use knives, and everything has to be out at that time.
Okay.
It's like and it was really stressful. So I go in the restroom, I call my dad, and I want to speak to my grandmom. So I'm saying, Obama, I'm really lost right now. And she heard that. I said, I'm very nervous. She thought I've lost my pajama. And she was 94. And I just felt that even at that time, she's only worried that her son shouldn't suffer.
Yeah.
That I've lost something. Yeah. And she kept
Pajama nahi mil raha.
And then my dad is like, what you told her? She started crying. And, she was going through this kind of partial dementia, and started crying that, oh, my son, why did you send him so far? And, oh, my God. But that was so heartwarming for me. And later when I met President Obama, I told him, I said, my grandmother actually thinks that she's very upset. She thinks, why? I said, she thinks I've lost my pajama. She's like, oh, I don't understand. I said, she rhymed with your name. She doesn't know
I'm meeting President Obama, not I lost my pajama.
So she's worried about my pajama.
Oh my God, that's the sweetest thing. Another fun anecdote is with Serena Williams and your dad.
My dad was the biggest fan of Serena Williams. And she was playing in Australia. And in Australia, the time zones are different. So my dad wanted to sleep early so he can wake up very early. And I was getting worried because he was wheezing on the phone. I couldn't speak properly. And I said, Dad, you should go to a doctor. He's saying, oh, I have to go through your contract because I had just signed up with Mercedes for a partnership. And he's saying, oh my God, I can't believe my dream is coming true, that I'll be sitting in a Mercedes car. Oh, wow. So I said, Dad, you should have just told me that. He's saying, oh, that was my dream. I said, but why didn't you tell me? He's saying, you never asked me what I wanted. And that was the last time I ever spoke to him. And I never asked him what he wanted. I really thought that he's my dad and that's his only identity. But you keep forgetting that your mom was a girl once and who had a big dreams, and your father had his own dreams. And then you were born and you took over their lives. And now they have nothing of their own dreams. He passed away after a few hours. And that really broke my heart. And when I went to Amritsar, I took a red Mercedes with me. I bought a Mercedes. I said, bring it
That's
to
for
the
Papa.
house.
Yeah.
Papa, I'm sorry I never asked you. And sometimes as kids, we never ask our parents that this is such a moment for us that we are grown up. Tell us your dream.
Yeah.
What you wanted to do. And my mom's dream, then I keep pushing my mom. Tell me what's your dream. And she's saying, I want to go for a Himalayan rally. My mom is not into cooking and all this domesticated work. I want to go for a Himalayan rally. I said, done, Mom. We're going to organize that. Mom comes to New York. I want to fly. My mom wanted to be a pilot when she was a girl.
Wow.
So we go for private flying lessons.
Now I want to get into your mission, and it really starts with your sister Radha. Tell us how that has kind of honed you in on what you do with your time, where you find meaning now.
So people have this thing, oh, don't worry, your pain is going to reduce. It's wrong. Your pain never reduces. You start to learn to live with that pain. And a small thing can trigger. You know, we are big Shah Rukh Khan fans. And every movie of Shah Rukh Khan, we went first day, first show. And when Shah Rukh's movie was coming, Pathaan, it just broke my heart. This was the first time I'm going to watch Shah Rukh Khan film without him.
Oh.
And you know, Shah Rukh Khan is like a ritual for us.
Of course.
As Indians, he's one of our biggest identities.
Yes.
And when I went to see Pathaan, I sent a message to Shah Rukh also that I'm buying 2 tickets. And I know I'm not going to enjoy the movie. And then later I realized I couldn't go. And my mom was with me, so I took her to watch Pathaan. And then, you know, he released 3 biggest movies in the country, one after the other. Right. I said, slow down, I'm still recovering. So it just is, small things trigger you. But I learned something for anyone who's trying to recover from pain. And this is coming from very deep love, is that your pain is deep and your love has been very deep. And one thing for anyone who's recovering, there's a word for us, it's called sublimation. You take all that pain and you create something majestic in the honor of the person. And this is what Bungalow is for me.
Yes.
It's sublimation. Because running a restaurant is very painful.
Oh,
so
of course.
It is like to overcome the pain, I'm creating bigger pain.
But it's sublime. Look at the space. How did you come up with this location, this aura?
It's my business partner, Jimmy. His Bhabhi, Sheila, is the one who designed the place. And I feel she really used her sense of aesthetics, her past, her childhood. We have all of common childhood. So when she did this, I was like, it cannot get better than this.
Yeah.
There's heart and soul to a restaurant, and that is what was required.
Yeah.
March 23rd, we open our doors to the world. It's going to be a big day. It would have been my sister's 50th birthday. So I want the whole world to celebrate her life and her legacy.
Now tell us what is on the Ma for menu.
Menu, most important.
Yeah.
Menu starts with inspirations from India, but we really want people to go a step further and see how we are combining those things. So even if you're doing a chart, it is going to look like chart, taste like chart, but we will add more elements to it. I feel Indian food, her sophistication is enough. That doesn't need anything else. But I want to give people something more memorable, where they're eating everywhere, and so many amazing restaurants are all over the US and the world now. But to create something which is they only eat at Bungalow. I want them to be memorable. because I have realized of cooking for 40 years almost that food is about the people you celebrate with. But I want my dishes to be so subtly interwoven with your meeting with that person that you remember that, oh my God, when we tasted it, there was a sweet potato which was roasted and smoked, and then with that amrood ka masala on top.
Wow.
And then you took aam panna and you created a whole new idea of aam panna. Then you did bundi with it. Okay, that's all coming to me because I see all the things from the roadside, but you all combine them together to say that I'm giving you an experience where I'm combining your childhood to a very modern way of expressing your love.
Areva. And the opening has so much color and like just celebration. So tell us about all the things that are happening. I can't wait.
Oh God, there are more than 8 dances, performances which are happening. And it's amazing. So many people want to volunteer just to perform here. I want to do this as a birth of my daughter. And I want to do this in the most celebratory way, where it's like an Olympic opening ceremony. After 23rd, it's going to be a restaurant.
Sure.
Before that, I can express my pain and my love, everything at the same time. And then it just becomes a transactional restaurant, a commercial space, which is running a place, food, eat, service. I'm going to do that to my best ability.
Yes.
Aage, iske haath.
Yes. So my show is called Mom Sense. That's total mom sense. I feel like, again, everything starts with Ma. And for me, it means intuition.
Yeah.
Tell us about a moment where you trusted your own mother's sense, an intuition, a calling.
Well, it has to be when I met Jimmy in Bombay. When I met Jimmy in Bombay, we were driving to Masterchef.
Okay.
And he spoke about his ammi. And that was it.
Oh, wow.
What he spoke, the words about his ammi, I did not respond. And then he left Bombay. And he's like, the place is here. We're waiting for you and all those things. Let's talk. And for next few days, I kept thinking about what he said about his ammi. So when I met his ammi, I said, Ammi, this has all happened because of you. If he had not spoken about you, no way. I'm not going to talk to anyone. But that day I felt this is the right partnership. And this is the time we all come, put our brains together, our experiences, our wisdom, our past, our ancestral values which are given to us growing up in India. We put them all together to a use which is commercial, which is cultural. I want to make it viable in all the ways.
Yes. Now, you are someone who is very spiritual. Do you have a meditation that you do daily?
I just can't sit still. I have too much of anxiety to prove. This was my sister's dream.
Yes.
And I really want to do, I'm really not good with meditation. Dr. Chopra has told me a few times that he have to take his workshops, but I'm really not a good.
But you do karma yoga. That's something, wo to haath se, you're making food for everybody.
I get anxious when I'm sitting for too long.
Right.
I feel that, my place is there where food is coming next. So it has to be perfectly done. And that is my yoga, is my country, is my yoga. How I express her is my karma.
Wow. And a mantra that you live by?
Only one thing is definite. You can open the greatest businesses and empires. There's only one thing which is definite, that it is going to close one day.
Yes. Yes.
And people start thinking this is invincible, it's immortal. Everything has to disappear. That's the power of mandala.
Yes, that's what I wanted to share. We opened with mandala. That's something that, I'm going to share something with you. In December of 2000, I was applying to college. My college essay was about mandala. Because I had watched the Little Buddha with my dad. And it opens the scene of the movie.
I remember.
It opens with that. And I must have been 9 years old. And it had moved me so much. I thought these chote bache and monks, on a pahad somewhere, making these beautiful sand paintings, they appreciated and then they destroy it. And that just signifies the impermanence
of
of
everything.
life. And everything is fleeting. Bulbuli jaise. But if you take in the beauty and the journey, that's all that matters. And so we opened this interview with mandala, and mandal is circle in Sanskrit, circle of life. So like you said, when you're open, something has to close at some point, but accepting that is so liberating.
Yeah, it also tells you that you are on a mission where the clock begins from backwards. Give it your best, what you can. I will do my best attempt to invest in chefs to bring better dining experience. Try to do it.
Yes.
But I also feel there's a much bigger destiny which plays a role in this.
Yes. 2 small things I wanted to give you. Okay, one is this folder. This is from my essays in here. A card and something from my kids. They made drawings of you. That's from Shrey. He's 5. See, this is you.
Okay,
In
I'm
the
a
kitchen,
chef with
yeah.
a yellow face. I love that. And I also like my name. Wow.
Vikas
From
uncle.
Shrey.
Shrey. Yeah.
Oh my God,
And
there's so
Shrey's
many
name
cooking
means
elements.
Marvelous.
Marvelous.
Yeah. So he made a few. Then,
So many kitchen chefs. Oh,
They
God.
go-
This
yeah.
has to go in the kitchen.
oh my goodness, thank you. And this,
All these chefs look
Yeah.
like just like us. It's like,
and this is doing langar seva. So this is the Golden Temple, and everyone's making
and
that
everybody's
big-
heads are covered. Oh, this is so beautiful.
So that's Krish. This was my essay. Another one by Krish, and this is from Suhana. She's so creative. So she wrote you a letter.
I love India. What is your favorite place, favorite dish and place in India? My favorite place in India has to be Varanasi because that's where my sister lives. And this is so
She wrote apron, and she spelled
Yeah.
it however she wants to spell
This is perfect. This is perfect.
Yeah.
We need to change the apron spelling.
it. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Microwave.
microwave is. Oh, this is so creative.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
that's your
And this is my essay and a card. But Abhi, okay, you want to read it, Abhi? Yeah.
Mubarak ho. Dearest
Namaste.
Vikas. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis. You can read to yourself. And one last thing. We didn't do meetha. So, मैंने कुछ मीठा बनाया.
Oh,
कुछ मीठा हो जाए.
मीठे चावल.
Yeah, अपने हाथ से. So, when I was researching you,
Oh, the Diwali is here.
so when I was researching you, I saw that you like a dish from Odisha, Jagannath Puri Temple. The name is Kanika.
Kanika Bhat.
I don't know about this
All
dish.
Kanika Bhat.
So 4 baje savere I made this for you. I hope it's not awful.
My sister asked me to. She suddenly connected with Lord Jagannath. Because, when you're losing hope, you have to connect with something up there. And she connected to Lord Jagannath. And it was, I said, I'll go and pray to him. Because it's brother, sister.
Yes, yes.
And I went and I felt that the gods were calling me that day when I
Wow.
went there. And there was Rath Yatra. And I did a lot of photography and everything. But next morning, I felt the power of that place.
Wow.
And I keep going back to Odisha for that. Actually, the first dance which is going to happen is going to come from Puri Temple, Oriya dance.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Rimli is doing the first performance dedicated to Lord Jagannath to this.
I had never heard of this dish.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to research everything, your movies, your books, your videos, your podcasts. And there was one YouTube clip that came up that you like this Kanika dish. I said, naam likha hua hai, to banana hi to hai.
Lord Jagannath
Yeah.
has his own way of coming in my life.
It's with the brown rice, so it's a little gritty.
Oh my God. are so simple,
So simple. So simple.
so beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much for doing
Of course.
this. Kanika Bhat. My Kanika. Thank you so much. This is the best beginning of a dream project. I hope I can make you, millions of Indians, and my sister proud.
You already have. Thank you so much. We're manifesting all of this today, and Mubarak ho. So chef, tell us what this dish is.
So this is one of the first dishes which comes from Bungalow. This is Shakarkandi ki chaat, which is a sweet potato chaat inspired by New Delhi, where they smoke the sweet potatoes on the street side, and then they put this masala and squeeze in a little bit of lemon juice,
Wow.
right? That sour touch to it. This has been boiled, smoked, pan-seared. So
My
it goes
goodness.
through 3 stages. And these are purple ones I'm using for this recipe.
Beautiful aubergine color.
Yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
love that. That's my favorite color.
Because we're opening in March, and this is the time where India is, it's raining mangoes in India. This time it's talk about green mangoes, which are the unripe mangoes. So what happened? We made an aam panna, and we made a sauce out of aam panna.
Wow.
So for me, this is like the consistency, which could be a thick sharbat. But we said, okay, let's figure out the balance of flavors and make it into the base of the sauce. Good?
Yeah. Such vibrant colors. My goodness.
Now comes a very interesting thing. Every time you do this, you got to. So this is bundi, masala bundi, but it has flavor of ashwagandha.
Okay. Anything you serve me. Anything you serve me. Chatpata.
Right?
Love it.
So what we do is we actually put it around it, just like this.
Wow.
So this was a technique developed by me and my main chef Noshad. So you think, chef, ये मुश्किल होगा? So right now I'm doing in front of the camera. So what we do is we take this and we just turn the plate like this. So it's going to make it into a painting.
Wow. I have to say, this theme of mandal, everything in this plate is a mandal.
You think so, right? You remove the extra ones, but there's still a little bit which needs to be sticking. Nothing is going to be left behind.
Right.
So you see this. So we turn the whole thing into a little art form.
Gorgeous.
Before we put our main star, that is our shakarkandi, on it. Make sense?
Yes.
Quickly, colors and everything, right? So, Americo, it's very important for me to create a new vision of the dish. And then here goes our shakarkandi.
Oh. Exquisite.
I just love this.
Yeah.
So, of course, you have to give a little crispiness to it and all
Yes.
those things. And this goes right in the middle.
Oh my goodness, beautiful.
So here you go,
Wow.
your shakarkandi ki chaat, bungalow style.
Yes.
Like this.
I love this.
Then you eat it.
Oh. Oh my goodness. So delicious.
So much reminds you of India, right?
And sweet potato. Wow. Wow.
Thank you. So Kanika's second dish is very close to my heart. It's from Kundapur in South India. It's a place near where I studied. And there's a family who invented ghee roast. So, and this dish is plantain ghee roast. So this is the base of this dish we are giving is banana ketchup. It's
you.
overripe bananas cooked with garlic and
Oh my goodness.
pickled chilies.
Delicious.
Something different,
Yeah.
right? A little spicy?
Yeah. No. Perfect. Not too
Yeah.
spicy. Yeah. Tangy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
So we have the ghee roasted bananas, right here, plantains. Keep saying banana.
Wow.
We have our plantain chips, which are very common in that area, which are fried in coconut oil. Give it that little extra cultural kick, what I call it. This is homemade mango chutney, which is totally fresh. Because I feel that kabhi-kabhi kya hota hai, you need to give a very contrasting flavor. And this is also made in a very Udupi style
Okay.
in South India.
Yeah.
So this is done with that, and I really want to show how you combine all these elements together to make something like this. And of course, we're going to top it with our beloved
Yes.
3 curry leaves.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. It's so typical South Indian. I feel like I'm there. My goodness.
So I'm going to show you one of my signatures here, which is wholly special. This dessert will change 5 times in a year in different forms.
Okay.
We're opening in spring, so we are celebrating spring, and then starts the summer.
Right.
India also celebrates monsoon, fall, and winter.
Okay.
These are hibiscus flowers from India, which have been turned into powder.
Oh my goodness.
So what we do is that we take a piece of this, little bit, in a strainer.
This is a mandala.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Ready? There's a very famous dessert in India which is called malayo or daulat ki chaat, which is one of my favorites. So we have turned pistachios for that. So it's almost like India's mousse,
Yes.
and this is a pistachio mousse now, which will go on the bottom right here.
Complementing colors.
This is where our art form comes for the main part of the dish. Thandai is a very famous drink during Holi. So it's almond milk with a lot of nuts and flavors and saffron. So what we've done is that we've created a whole new vision of that in form of a kharvas. Kharvas is almost like India's panna cotta,
Yes.
and that goes right here. Oh, wow. And we need to give a little definition to it, a little crunch to it, for which we are using chicky,
Yeah.
the sesame brittle.
So authentic. Everything we grew up with, it's like from...
Bringing everything on the
Yeah,
table,
yeah.
as my
Street
ritual is that you
food.
got to taste as you go.
Huh.
So something so simple, but yet so much seeped in culture, history, and depth of India's flavor and rituals.
Wow.
All yours.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. So good.
Thandai, pistachio mousse.
Melts in your mouth.
Chicky to bhul gayi.
Yeah.
So I want you to try the flour thing also, because that is also complementing the flavor.
Oh,
So
yes,
said
yes,
that
yes, yes. I don't want to ruin this.
something which we feel that people should feel. We are celebrating
Wow.
Maharashtra in a very different way.
Yes. Oh, the pista.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
One of my favorite authors come from Maharashtra. Her name is, she's no more. Her name is Kamlabai Ogle. So even a lot of young kids do not know about her. One of my first cookbooks was hers. And she was also known as a mother-in-law of million daughter-in-laws, because she taught millions and millions of girls how to
How to
cook.
cook, yeah.
So we might not know about her, but we want to celebrate her. So her legacy is going to be in the library.
Yeah. Oh. You're bringing so many different people
Hopefully.
and memories to life. Thanks for joining me and Chef Vikas. This was an interview that I'll remember for the rest of my life. It's already a core memory, and I hope it touched your heart too. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope you got some great takeaways from our conversation. Join my community by logging on to thatstotalmomsense.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to That's Total Mom Sense, the podcast, wherever you listen, and be sure to rate and review. On socials, my handle is @Kanika Chadda Gupta on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and X. You can also find me on LinkedIn. My episode videos are on YouTube and YouTube podcasts with highlights on YouTube Shorts. Write to me at thatstotalmomsense@gmail.com. My team and I read all your pitches and feedback and are so glad to be in touch. Remember, always trust your mom sense and dad sense. Stay strong, super parents. See you soon.